This is the so-called pig, or FN Minimi SAW. You take out the box and insert a regular magazine. We have a contact on the right side and also a contact on the left side, both at 12 o'clock. Is there anybody there? Please confirm the situation and report back. Is anyone here? Is there anybody home? Is anyone there? It seems like no one is. Hold my Minimi for a second. 2 hours later. You might be a fan of Black Hawk or Generation Kill, or maybe you've played 1,000 hours of Call of Duty or Battlefield, and you might not even know English, but you definitely know what this thing looks like because it's the so-called pig, or FN Minimi SAW. Some people call it a saw, but that's actually not true. But the absolute truth is that this is the most famous light machine gun in the world. It is an icon of popular culture and a symbol of tactical support for small combat groups. But how and why did it gain such a reputation? Why is it so popular? And what strengths and weaknesses does this fire support machine conceal? As they say, you can't be indifferent to this machine. You either love it or hate it. So let's see how our acquaintance with the pig ends today. Let's go. We are using 5.56 45 cartridges today. M855, which is the green one, and M856, which is a tracer, meaning it is loaded to help us understand where we are shooting, for example, at a target at long distance. We are currently working with wooden blocks, seeing how well they are penetrated, whether I can knock them down or not. You know, there is a game like that in the town. We are working at a distance of 50 meters. I will have reasons to hide from my Minimi today. And the first reason is that if you are in a log cabin or a wooden house, it is clear that... Not an ideal experiment, but nonetheless. The machine gun is quite accurate. I shoot with a rest. I shoot using the Holosun collimator and hit the center. See, bam bam. Each block in some places. The grouping is simply excellent. To be honest, I thought they would scatter in different directions, at least fall. But the bullet speed of 850-990, almost 1,000 meters per second, allows our beams to remain in that position for a long time. Even if you fully unload the belt, it's unlikely that any of them will fall in this spot. The bullet enters, ricochets inside, and effectively comes out and goes back in. This is naturally a through and through penetration. Here, 1/2 meter of wood. You know, when I meet people who say, you know, we really enjoy watching your channel because it shows that the F1 doesn't fly 200 meters with shrapnel. Today, the experiment is such that if you have 1/2 meter of wood in front of you and the Minimi is firing at you, you have every chance of survival because there is not a single penetration. That's good. By the way, it would be interesting to know how much it actually penetrates. Here in one place, you see, I can see. Don't lean on me like that, okay? It kind of comes out here. So this is about half. That is approximately 25 centimeters. And you know why there's no joke here? Because I see pieces of fragments of other bullets, and they are approximately right in the central point. You see here the center, and here, by the sensation of it, there's a bullet left. Here. You see, it's kind of protruding out. Well, here it is, somewhere around here in the middle, about 25 centimeters of wood. Sorry, dude, but it's really evident here that it penetrates through halfway like the shell casing, and here probably is the bullet. Now let's take a nap in the bathroom. So the bullet fragments are definitely here. This is the jacket. And the rest of the core flew somewhere. Well, you see, here too, the essence is that 5.45 by 39 or 5.56 by 45. They are the same in their pursuit of ricochet capability, +1, no matter how you look at it. Here it is, the little piece. You see it in the middle. By the way, it's very surprising. The bullet somehow crumples. It somehow goes in together with the shell, probably because of the soft wood. Here is what we found. The myth is broken. In short, if you are from 556 to 45 and the Minimi, you are alive. Here. The history of the FN Minimi began in the 1970s. At that time, many armies around the world were looking for a lightweight and powerful machine gun that could replace heavier fire support systems. FN Herstal, a Belgian company with a long history of weapon development, took on the task of creating a prototype machine gun for the 5.56mm cartridge. Belgian designer Ernest Verviers decided to create something like a compact automatic rifle, but with the power of a machine gun. He came up with a model that could shoot quickly and accurately while being light enough for even one person like me to handle. The development was based on the already well-known FN Mag, which we have shown multiple times, and you can see it here. The first prototypes of the FN Minimi appeared in 1974, and for years, Ernest Verviers refined this weapon. And finally, in 1979, FN introduced the finished version of the Minimi, and it was immediately noticed in America. In America, this weapon received the new name M249. That, something like automatic weapons for the unit, indeed began its mass production. The weapon received the name FN Minimi from the French term mini-métrage, or miniature machine gun. However, in 1980, it was adopted by the US Army as the M249, becoming an important milestone in the development of machine guns for combat groups. Americans were looking for mobile weapons with a high rate of fire, the firepower of small units. The FN Minimi proved to be an ideal platform that allowed for creating a dense curtain of fire, effectively suppressing the enemy and providing support at distances of up to 800 meters. The FN Minimi first underwent combat testing during the American invasion of Panama in 1989 in the densely built environment of Panama City, where it was crucial to suppress enemy fire at close ranges. In the Minimi, it proved to be a light and maneuverable machine gun suitable for urban combat. However, true success came to the FN Minimi during the Persian Gulf War in 1990-1991. This was the first large-scale conflict in which American troops extensively used the M249 SAW, or the American version of the FN Minimi. Against the backdrop of extreme desert conditions, where sand and heat posed a threat to any weapon, FN Minimi proved. Thanks to its sustained fire, this machine gun became an important part of tactics. Soldiers could hold positions, suppress the enemy, and its mobility allowed infantry to maneuver and move safely. In the 2000s, the FN Minimi underwent combat testing in Afghanistan and Iraq, where it demonstrated its effectiveness in a wide range of conditions, from narrow city streets to mountain trails. I don't want to say a single word in support of Mr. Tromble, but I can say just one thing. That bastard is a damn killer. He fired 7 rounds from 200 meters and took out all the enemies. In short, we remember the generation of killers. We remember Sergeant Tromble, or the fall of the Black Hawk and the famous urban battle. For me, today is a real test. I am holding for the first time such a lightweight machine gun, which weighs 7.5 kilograms without the box. I am already comfortable, but nevertheless, I have a slight distance. One officer of the American Army said that when these 3 machine guns were operating, it felt like a hammer was striking, because none of the opponents were even thinking of coming out. So why were these opponents? And they didn't want to leave there. Is it really that powerful? And how powerful is it? Let's check. Today, I have a small test for myself. I will be shooting at foam blocks. That is, these walls actually create houses. So can a house be shot through? And we will shoot at an iron door and shoot at bricks. Let's see how it performs. But you know what's the coolest thing about this machine gun? Not only that it's lightweight, but also that if you, for example, shoot, and suddenly, out of nowhere, you run out of the belt, and you essentially have no belt nearby, so you quickly take a shorter one, pull out a box, insert a regular magazine, and continue shooting. The FN Mini is designed for the 5.56-45 NATO. Its weight is 7.5 kilos depending on the model, which makes it relatively light compared to other machine guns. The machine gun has a length of about 1 meter and the barrel length is 465 mm. Its rate of fire is between 700 and 1000 rounds per minute, allowing for powerful and sustained fire against the enemy. The gas regulator here allows you to step over the threshold from 700 to 1000. In other words, this is mini hell, and beyond that is hardcore hell. The effective shooting range of the FN Mini is 1000 meters. When bipods are installed, you can mount any sight on the Picatinny rail, which may allow you to shoot even further. The Mini MI operates on the principle of gas operation, which means that part of the energy from the shot is used to reload the weapon. After the shot, the gunpowder gases pass through a hole in the barrel and enter the gas chamber, pushing the piston back. The piston activates the bolt, which extracts the spent cartridge, and then the next round falls into the chamber. This cycle ensures continuous fire and a high rate of fire, but overall, there's nothing new. The FN Mini has a sturdy yet lightweight body made of steel and lightweight alloys, which reduces its weight. The design includes bipods that allow for stable fire, which is especially useful in defensive positions. I made myself a power handle for fire transfer because it is very convenient. It's extremely convenient. It comes with 2 interchangeable barrels. One, I believe, is 460, and the other is either 540 or something like that. Well, in short, it's convenient that you can use it at longer distances. It also has a telescopic stock, which allows you to shoot at both long and short distances, meaning you can fold it up and run to storm a building like Tarkov.
Laughter. You know, it was a great start to the day. In the morning, Lyoka unexpectedly shot both my hands off, by the way.
No, it's wild. No zombies. So what? Well, that's it. The belt feeding here is very simple. Left loading. Bam. And that's it. Cocking and let's go. The trigger and cook, 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 cook. We're working. Naturally, there is only automatic fire here. There is no single shot mode, and so on. And it's not needed. After all, this is a machine gun. It's called Piglet because it has such a distinctive sound. Here, I just lightened my machine gun by a couple of kilograms. And I like it. Carrying handle. Naturally, the grips fold when you don't have a fire carry handle, either forward or backward, whatever is more convenient for you. But in this case, it does not fold. When shooting, it makes a strange sound that resembles grunting, and that's why many have colloquially called it Piglet. This is especially discussed on forums, blogs, and so on, but Commanders today have the opportunity to experience this grunt for themselves, one of the main complaints. It has become heavy. Carrying the machine gun and ammunition over long distances becomes exhausting. Hence the piglet, as if you're carrying a little damn pig with you. If you were poked by a pig, you'd be like, I don't know, for example, would be satisfied. Another problem is the jamming of cartridges when using magazines instead of belts. This leads to the accumulation of shavings and feeding failures. Therefore, most fighters prefer to use belts, providing stable. Well, let's move on to storming buildings. Let's go. So let's see what we have here. Look at the huge holes we found right here. Do you see? The entrance is small, like a wasp's nest. But further in, the wasp's nest has been thoroughly disturbed. How much is here? About 30 centimeters. In general, it is important to note that probably, approximately 25 to shorter than 25 centimeters in length of a typical piece of material, such as a foam block, does not save your life, that it is a rangefinder. It's rare for our program, you might say, and you would be right, but there is a brick wall 87 meters away from me, and I am, of course, approaching the enemies, possible terrorists. My task is to make several precise and careful shots, so that none of them leave alive. But this should be a myth. Whether it will work or not, we will check right now. After all, as you might expect, brickwork is indeed a real brick house, and it is undoubtedly a genuine brick structure. Boom! Let's go take a look. I need to move quickly while someone is working on suppression. And of course, today, I am both moving and suppressing myself. In short, I really have to do absolutely everything myself. But look, the little brick wall is broken. Haha! Wow! Do you really like this? You like it? Look, there's a through penetration. The brick is quite large. Look how many centimeters it is. About 10 centimeters. And this is uncompromising penetration. This means that if the wall is one brick thick and you have a building like that in front of you, the terrorists won't stand a chance. The terrorists won't stand a chance. Especially if you possibly possessed Kung Fu or if it was a cobra throw. Look, the brick is slightly cracking and that's it. And the line flew further over there. And the terrorists can't even lift their heads anymore. That's cool. It's really cool. Or as our famous contemporary, Tinkoff, said, cool. Yeah, that's cool. And you just keep going. But what to do if the terrorists have locked themselves inside? A huge door, a heavy lock, possibly 100% secure from the other side. Is there anyone standing there if you approach like in the movie Terminator? By the way, was he in Terminator or not? It seems he was. Let's check. So, a sufficiently thick door and a quite uncompromising penetration. I'll touch the upper part again. By the way, we painted this door especially for you, so I won't touch it. Do you see what very good penetration it has? Honestly, it reminds me of a press. It also has that very good penetration. Smooth even indeed, as they say, on one side. You see, on this side it was thicker. And not only that, behind it stands another iron dam target. And as you can see, it penetrates through it as well. And I suddenly thought, if the penetration is so good, maybe there are some slightly more powerful cartridges available. And I have an M8 5.5A1 with a bismuth core. And do you know where I'm going to shoot? Right here. This is 7mm homogeneous katana steel. And this is the rear part, the ramp of the BMP. What am I going to do? I am going to just shoot here with the viewing core and see what happens. Of course, he won't penetrate it, but what will the result be? I'm indeed curious about that. I don't know why it's called a piglet, because I haven't heard any squealing, but perhaps it's all about the rate of fire. I have 700 shots per minute here, and almost 1000 N might mean normal. That is, if I translate it into perhaps H or whatever it will be called. Unfortunately, there is no second letter here. But let's check how the two rates of fire differ. Perhaps it starts squealing at 1000 shots per minute. We discard the box. We insert it. We insert it. M16 magazine. Let's rack it. And take a look. Right now, we are in position N, or probably normal. Let's shoot the whole magazine to see if there will be this pig. Squeal, or not. Well, I don't know. Is it grunting? Uh-huh. So, if we increase the revolutions, using the gas regulator, will it go off the rails, so to speak, or not? It's also good, but honestly it's unclear. But these were two different speed modes. The difference is just 300 rounds. By the way, do you know what kind of animal is depicted right here? Written by Arsarma. Who knows what kind of animal this is? Maybe a tiger or a bear, or God knows who it is. Maybe it's a panda at all. Write in the comments. But actually it's a suit from Arsarma. The guys make just wonderful equipment for war and more. For tourism, for example, if you know what I mean. Follow the link in the description. If the minimum has run out of belt-fed ammunition, a standard magazine, such as that from the M16, comes into play. Do you know what I want to say? When I first said that this might be the best mini machine gun, I had no idea what it was like. And now I have literally bonded with it so much that I consider it my little brother. Mini cutie, hello. This is the show Large Caliber Commotion, so don't switch channels. Okay, it's definitely too early to switch. Look at what happened to the back door of the BMP-1. Yes, basically, indeed, nothing has really changed, but you can notice the accuracy, the way the master's hand is felt, so to speak. I ran around with this little machine gun. I tried its convenience, its safety. I felt all its grips, and I really like its bipod. I like that it has such an unusual folding stock, that it is lightweight, and that its standard box magazine can be replaced with a belt. And I truly like that. I am probably the only Russian blogger who has held this legend in my hands. You can write in the comments which machine gun from our army could be compared to this one, but for now, in my personal ranking, this machine gun holds the first place. You are with large caliber commotion. Don't switch channels. It will get more interesting.